Hey everyone, this is Melissa with Disc Dyes by Melissa, and today I'm going to be answering two of the questions that I get asked the most, which are what kind of dye do you use and how do you mix your dyes? What are your ratios? So I primarily use Pro Chemical & Dye, or ProChem for short. I use this dye for my Floetrol mixes as well as my acetone mixes, and the acetone gets used for hand painting, spin dyeing, and glue dyes, so multi-purpose. As far as the actual dye powder goes, you can get this straight from ProChem's website. They have a bunch of different colors that you can choose from, or there's also kits. I got this. This was a pack of 12 of assorted colors off of Amazon. It's a good way to try it out without spending too much money, because these jars can get pricey depending on the color. When you buy them, regardless of whether it's Amazon or ProChem's website, it does come with this handy sheet of what the different ratios are for the different mediums. So I use this when I'm mixing my colors. Mine is a bit worn out because I've been doing this for a couple years, but I still refer to it all the time. And we'll be using that when I show you how to make these in just a bit. The second dye that I use is iDye Poly. I use this for my stencil hot dip dyes. Make sure you get the iDye Poly and not just plain iDye, because the plastic will not take the color. You do not need this whole packet for a jar this size. So what I do is I use what I need, and then any extra goes into a little jar, because it's not a resealable container, so you need to put it somewhere. Both of these have warnings. You do want to wear gloves when dealing with dye. And then once your mixtures are made, make sure they are in sealable containers and they are put away from kids. I will add links to all the stuff down below. Now that we've talked about it a little bit, let's actually make some dye. So I'm going to start with the acetone dyes. So I got this new color, Shamrock. Never made it before, but it looks like it should be a very pretty green. I already have this neon green. And then I have a darker green that's Meadow, and I wanted something in between. So got an empty bottle we're going to use for that. And I have a hot water over here that we're going to use. One note I will make about acetone. It is flammable, so make sure you keep it away from extreme heat. We are using hot water, however, it should not be so hot that it causes issues. And that is just a note. If you're going to use acetone, be safe with it. So, according to our handy dandy chart here, for acetone painting, you're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of dye plus 1 teaspoon hot water. Mix well, dissolve until there's no clumps. 2 ounces of acetone per, see, these are 8-ounce bottles, so we're going to multiply all of that by 4 to fill them up. So I had just a cheap set of measuring spoons. I got these from the dollar store. So we're gonna measure that out. And we're gonna get my gloves. Since these are 8-ounce bottles, we will be using 2 teaspoons of dye. And how it looks in powdered form is not reflective of how it looks once it's made. It's usually much darker in powdered form, so don't let that discourage you, thinking you got the wrong color or something. It's just, it looks different when it's in powdered form versus when it is in acetone or Floetrol. That's why you use a funnel. I had one, but I don't know where it went. And then you want to make sure that you, first off, cap it when you're done. You do not want to spill this stuff. And then I have some regular water I'm going to use to clean off my measuring spoons. Because if you are, especially if you're making multiple colors at the same time, you don't want them mixing. So make sure you clean any utensils that you use in between colors. found that funnel. So put that there and add our hot water. We're gonna put the lid back on and shake it up because we want to dissolve those clumps of dye. You do not want any clumps. These are gonna cause issues later if you don't get them. So, all right, so once we see that we don't have any more clumps, we're going to fill the rest of the bottle with acetone. And the acetone that I use it's just nail polish remover. Okay, we're going to shake it again. Make sure everything is thoroughly mixed. Don't know if you can actually tell, but it's kind of like a nice green with like maybe a little bit of blue to it. You do need to let it sit though, like maybe about an hour. If you try to use your colors immediately, they are not going to have the vibrancy that you need. So they need to have time to settle, and then you can use them. So, the label on this one. Now we have Shamrock and acetone. So next, let's do Floetrol. We actually have this really pretty lavender we're gonna make. So similar process. And again, we're gonna multiply the ratios based off of the size of our bottles. I am using 16-ounce bottles. You can do smaller ones. I just use a lot, so I use larger bottles. We have our measuring spoons, which we cleaned. Don't need any shamrock in our lavender. Load it up. And then add the hot water to dissolve the dye. Just mix it up so we have no more clumps. So once you know you have no more clumps, I'm going to fill the rest with Floetrol. Now Floetrol is kind of an odd thing. Like it looks and has the consistency of like Elmer's white glue, but it's not. So it's on the label. It says that it's meant to eliminate brush and roller marks, improves flow and leveling. So you're supposed to add it to latex paint. It's just supposed to make it smoother, but its properties make it perfect as a disc dyeing medium. So, you're gonna fill the bottle up halfway, give it a shake, and then fill it up the rest of the way. If you just fill all of it with Floetrol, you're not gonna have enough room to thoroughly really mix it and have a bunch of white streaks. So, ooh. Oh, that's right. And you're supposed to shake it first, because otherwise this happens to where it's separated into its different parts. So give it a shake. Steady your hands this time. There we go. I fill it about halfway. Great, I'm gonna fill it the rest of the way. You're not gonna go to the very top of the bottle, you're gonna stop maybe about there. Oopsie, didn't listen to myself, went all the way to the top. So if that happens, unfortunately, you do have to dump some of it, which you really don't want to do, because that wastes materials. All right, and then you shake up the rest. That is a bit darker than it actually is going to be. Like I said, the colors just need time to settle. So we're gonna let it sit and then we can use it. But there you go. That is how I mix my colors, and those are the different brands that I use. If you have any questions, please let me know, or if there's any additional videos you'd like me to make. I am planning on doing some more detailed videos, as well as like how different plastics dye, how acetone looks on a disc versus how Floetrol looks on a disc, stuff like that. So let me know what you guys want to see.